Welcome back, viewers. Through the course of the day, of course, we've been bringing you up to date to what's happening at the Times Now Summit. Now, time to move on to some stories from down south. Another day and yet another ET probe against the opposition and their kin. The latest addition to the long list of jailed or under scanner individuals. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's daughter, Veena Vijayan, is now under the Enforcement Directorate scanner, as it has taken up the investigation in the monthly payoff scam involving Veena on the basis of the findings of a recent investigation. The probe has revealed that the shareholders of Cochin Minerals and Ruta Limited, or CMRL, were cheated and defrauded. The case pertains to a controversy that erupted in the state after it was reported that CMRL had paid 1.72 crore rupees to the Chief Minister's daughter. Now, the left had alleged political vendetta. There were multiple reports that indicated there has been a four-fold jump in ED cases against politicians since PM Modi came to power, as opposed to the Congress-led UPA regime, they say. Between 2014 and 2022, out of 121 political leaders who were raided by the Enforcement Directorate, a whopping 115 were opposition leaders. Whereas during the UPA's regime, a total of 26 politicians were probed by the Enforcement Directorate. Of these, 14 were opposition leaders. Now, several top political leaders have come under the radar of the Enforcement Directorate, such as the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. Very recently, of course, we saw what happened with the BRS leader K. Kavita, JMM leader Hemant Soren, and even Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal at this point in time after the Enforcement Directorate raids is behind bars. The BJP claims that there is routine action being taken on anyone that is corrupt. However, the timing of the action by the agencies ahead of the Lok Sabha polls is sure to make the political war of words even sharper.
Those who say this is harassment, this is political attacks, they should first explain what was the service provided by the Chief Minister's daughter for receiving this large amount of money. So that is why this is considered as a kickback. So there is no point in saying that we are being victimized. This victimhood theory, that theory will not stand before the public.
Well, let me open this up to a panel of guests joining us today. Vineetah Hariharan of the BJP is with us. We also have Roni K. Baby, Congress spokesperson, Dr. Jairaj, political analyst. We also have K. Shaji, senior journalist from Kerala, also joining us. And also Sneha from Mirror Now is also with us today on this broadcast. Now, in fact, before I go to the guests, we should also note here, meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has also issued summons to the former Finance Minister Thomas Isaac regarding the Masala Bonds case and has asked to appear before the central agency on the 2nd of April. Now, this is the 7th time Isaac has been summoned and he has never appeared for any of his summons. He had even opposed Enforcement Directorate move and called it illegal. More importantly here, viewers, we should note that all of this boils down to the opposition crying foul and saying that the government is after them. Now, I'll first take this across to my colleague Sneha. Sneha, firstly, as far as Chief Minister and his daughter is concerned, the Enforcement Directorate's radar on them now. This was initially, of course, taken up by the SFIO. How do you really view this? Firstly, if you could put this into perspective for our viewers. Talk about the case firstly, so that the viewers understand how the Enforcement Directorate really gets involved in this.
So there are two aspects to this, Deepak, and it's important to understand, one, with what's happening with the company that is headed by Veena George, the links allegedly to CMRL as well as KSIDC, both of them integral parts, integrally linked to the government as well. So that's the linkages of how the possibly moved. What were the linkages that ED is really looking at? Where was this money raised from? Why was it? And how did the transfer happen? Was it within the laws? Now, the second aspect of what you also mentioned is the summon which has been repeatedly sent to Thomas Isaac, something that he has not he's not gone and deposed before the probe agency. That is regarding the masala bonds for the KIFBI. Again, a government rig. Masala bond, as most of our viewers would know, is all about raising rupee-denominated bonds by Indian entities outside India. So now what are these two aspects? While they may sound very technical, the politics of it is what it comes down to. Remember, in Kerala, it's the left as well as the Congress, which are the primary rivals politically, at least. It's not the BJP at this point. Now, the Congress has already, in the past, several these questions that where are the probe agencies? Why have they not been arresting or taking any action against the state government? There were so many cases that were brought. You remember the gold smuggling case, you remember the life mission case. There were several cases where either people linked to the government, the officials linked to the government, or even ministers linked to the government, and these cases were either questioned or they were arrested, and several such things happened. So, you know, the politics of this is extremely important. The left is now raising that the whole thing is about timing. Look at the way these cases are now being raked up. The connections are now being sought after. And all of this is only because there's an election coming. They have also said before the assembly elections, when there were so many cases and probes that were started, what has happened to all of them? They seem to have gone into thin air. That's, of course, the left saying. Now, the Congress has been saying the BJP and the left are playing cards together. Where is all the air that was out there? It's all gone. It's all up in thin air. That's the Congress saying that there is a bonhomie between the BJP and the left. Now, that being the second aspect of it. The third aspect being the BJP is saying this is a regular procedure that is happening. Now, in case of Thomas Isaac, why isn't he even giving documents that are supposed to be given? If there are allegations, if there are concerns that we are raising, prove them to be wrong. Thomas Isaac is saying this is nothing but vendetta, this is witch hunt, and it's coming before the political elections. The crux of this entire matter is, remember the political landscape in Kerala ahead of the crucial Lok Sabha elections. All of this becomes extremely important, and the key contentious battleground between the three parties in Kerala as of now.
Right, Sneha, thank you for putting that into perspective. I want to dive straight in and ask the Congress party here. Ronnie K, maybe if you could tell us, now as Sneha was pointing out there, yes, you will raise questions about the timing when it comes to Veena Vijayan and now the Enforcement Directorate looking into her case and whether the length will be on the Chief Minister. But Mr. Thomas Isaac has been served multiple notices. He's failed to appear. Now, there is, of course, an investigative agency called the Enforcement Directorate. It is supposed to do its job. If it's issuing notices, to respond is the duty. And if there is nothing really to hide, and you definitely can get yourself cleared of these charges, and we've seen that with opposition leaders as well in the country. So here, can you completely keep dodging summons, not produce documents when asked for, and then also cry foul saying, you know, it's vendetta politics?
Deepak ji, first of all, I appreciate you that in your intro, you said that the BJP central government is hunting opposition leaders by your citing the numbers. Out of 121 cases, 115 cases were registered against the opposition leaders. I really appreciate you. But when you come to the Kerala, what is really going on is a political drama between BJP and the CPM. This is not the first incident. Ever since the Modi government came to power in 2014 and the Pinarayi Vijayan government came to power in 2016, there was an unholy alliance between the BJP and CPM because Congress is their common enemy for BJP and the CPM. I want to cite out a number of cases in the past where ED was near to the Chief Minister and the Chief Minister's office. As Ms. Sneha has rightly pointed out here, the gold smuggling case, the dollar smuggling case, the life mission kickoff case, there are a number of cases. What happened to all these cases? There was a situation was created. The Chief Minister was about to arrest, and the CPM leaders were openly against BJP, central government, ED. They are witch hunting the CPM leaders, but nothing was happened. I want to clearly cite out here about Lavlin case. It was one of a very predominant case where the present Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has been involved. The Supreme Court has been postponed this case for 38 times. Can you believe? 38 times this case. Whenever the case is appearing before the Supreme Court, the advocate who is presenting the case on behalf of CBI, he is absent. Either one reason or another reason. He is purposefully abstaining from appearing before the Supreme Court. This is the clear case of nexus between CPM and BJP. I want to clearly mention here, ever since the election campaign started for the 2024 Lok Sabha election, Congress is trying so hard to expose this unholy alliance between CPM and BJP. Since the election declared, the CPM leader, he is not the CPM state leader, E.P. Jayarajan, he is the convener of LDF in Kerala. He openly says that BJP has fielded very good candidates, very excellent candidates in number of constituencies. Who is saying this? The CPM leader, the convener of the LDF. And immediately the BJP state president is welcoming that statement. And we can cite out a number of examples like this. Since this election started, Congress is trying hard to expose these unholy alliances. And the people of Kerala, they are strongly believing now that an unholy alliance is going on between BJP and CPM. And they know the danger because the people of Kerala are supporting the UDF.
Mr. Baby, instead of talking about more than the alliance, we can talk about that debate. We can debate that at a later point in time. But let's really delve into the topic at hand. We were talking about the Enforcement Directorate's action, Mr. Thomas Isaac not responding to repeated summons, and how, on one hand, while the opposition says that the timing shows that there is political vendetta involved, but also there is a duty on part of, anyone who's being investigated to cooperate with the agencies.
This ED notice to Thomas Isaac or the present today's development of registering case against Veena Vijayan, or for the last 1 month, you can see that in 2 incidents, the Kerala government filed a complaint in Supreme Court against the central government. In all these incidents, we can see that they cooked up a story that the central government is witch hunting, central government is attacking, central government is victimizing this CPM leadership in Kerala. They are creating a narrative like that. They are creating a story like that. And
narrative is okay. Before I go to the BJP, I'll also bring in Dr. Jairaj. Let's see what his perspective here is. Dr. Jairaj, there the Congress spokesperson says this is only a narrative that's being built.
Actually, when I talk about this, I have to quote Arvind Kejriwal on the Jantar Mantar rally. Arvind Kejriwal quoted to be said that this is my turn, next is going to be Kerala Chief Minister. How predictable he is and how the things are coming into a closer quarters. Because of this witch hunting happened a lot of time before. Last time before the, legislative assembly elections, right now in the juncture of this Lok Sabha election, this type of things coming over and again, and not a single, case has been charged against these ministers or chief minister in Kerala. And what happened in this masala bond? They are equating masala bond with electoral bond. The huge amount of money that amassed by Congress and BJP from the electoral bond is it's now a national shame to both the parties. So they just want to divert their attention, and they are framing cases on flimsy grounds. This is about serious fraud investigation office is investigating an amount of 1.75 crore over a period of 1 year as a service provided by this CM's daughter, Veena Vijayan's, company. A lot of things are being explored and a lot of investigations were going on. Even in the case of KIFB, there were a lot of investigation. Even there were,
Dr. Jairaj, Veena Vijayan went to the Kerala High Court, didn't get relief, went to the Karnataka High Court, no major relief. Now the Enforcement Directorate finds material sufficient enough to, initiate a probe. So how are you terming this vendetta? And this is not a case that has been happening now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. I know it very well. It is not a case that is happening right now. A few months before it all started, and now the Serious Fraud Investigation Office is, investigating into this. Right now, the ED, CBI, and other investigative agencies. You see, these national investigative agencies are used as a tool by the BJP government to frame charges on the opposition parties all over India. It's not in the case of Kejriwal itself. It's what is happening in Tamil Nadu. It's what happened in Karnataka. Even though the Congress, you know how this DK Shivakumar was exonerated from all the cases that charged upon him by the High Court of Karnataka. And like that, at the time of the elections, what they are doing, because the BJP is fearful of losing this, they were thinking about, they thought that they gained this with a whooping or thumping majority. But it is not going to happen. The India Alliance is on the run. So right now, they don't have any things to do. Regarding the allegations about BJP and CPM alliance in Kerala, it is visible by the anecdotal evidence of this KG Marar, who wrote in his book that there was, in the Lok Sabha elections of Kasargod, there was an alliance. When Advocate Rekna Singh was fielded as the candidate, the Congress and both Congress and BJP opposed the LDF to, you know, to rig the elections in Kasargod, but it happened otherwise. So there were previous history of Congress holding hands with BJP. Right now, also in some of the area like Kollam Constitutional Assembly, where NK Premachandran, the RSP candidate, is working there, the BJP has an unholy alliance with Congress, and there are certain pockets in Kannur and certain other places where the BJP is supporting the Congress. So these things are happening there.
Dr. Jairaj and Roni K. Baby, one thing that I'd like to ask you, at the state level, all of you all have differences. The Congress party talks about an alliance. They talk about the opposition uniting against the BJP. They say that, you know, the BJP is on a witch hunt to finish off the opposition. But there seems to be no unity, and the whole debate, I've been asking both of you all one question, and, you know, both of you all are jumping into one aspect, that there has been an unholy alliance with the BJP. If there is an unholy alliance with the BJP, then why, you know, how can you really claim that the BJP is after, you know, both these parties? And, you know, because the Congress has claimed, you know, the BJP is after them. The CPI has claimed the same thing.
This is very
On
clear.
the other hand, both are alleging that there is an unholy alliance. So what do the viewers really understand here? What do the viewers have to really look at?
Answering the questions.
Okay, let me bring in the BJP. Let me bring in the BJP. Vineetah has been very patiently listening as well. So I come back to you, Dr. Jairaj. Let me bring in Vineetah Hariharan as well. Vineetah, your response to both of their, you know, claims. I want you to respond on the charge that the, you know, agencies are being used against the Kerala government, the Chief Minister, his daughter, and also about this unholy alliance that both of them are referring to.
Yeah, so first of all, about the holy and the unholy alliance, you know, isn't the BJP, isn't the Congress and the left actually colluding with each other and forming the India Alliance? Is the India Alliance holy or unholy? Let them speak, let them state that first. Is the India Alliance holy or unholy? You know, before you kind of hatch conspiracy theories about BJP colluding with Congress or BJP colluding with left. Sometimes the Congress narrative is BJP is colluding with left, and sometimes the Congress says that, you know, something else. And so the narrative changes every day for the Congress. At the national level, at the state level, they have no issue, they have no narrative, they have no agenda. So the India Alliance, the so-called India Alliance, the Mahagathbandhan, or the, you know, Gamandia Gathbandhan, as we would like to call them, has no fixed agenda of nation building or nothing. Now, secondly, about, you know, so this is all conspiracy theories which has no foundation, which has no basis. And this is an ED's story. It's an ED against people who have actually used state machinery, and you know, it's a Hawala case in both the cases, in Kejriwal as well as this itself, because it's a clear quid pro quo where the money was given to Exalogic, which is actually KSIDC's, you know, the CMRL is a KSIDC company which has paid this money to Exalogic, and you know, and there is a lot of case of sand mining cases against the Cochin Mineral and Rutiles Limited, where a lot of people have been harmed, and a lot of, you know, there's been negative impacts of sand mining. And so this is the case of actually legitimizing sand mining by giving this money. So it's a clear case of quid pro quo, and 1.72 crore given without any work done by Veena Vijayan. So therefore, it's the SFIO and then, you know, the courts, and now the ED is now probing it because it's been escalated to the ED. So it's a very clear case based on facts and evidence. So we cannot doubt the efficiency of the ED. Yes, definitely there have been so many cases that the ED has filed over the last so many years is because the efficiency or the efficacy of CED is improving in this government. And so therefore, we cannot say that we are, hounding certain governments or certain, political actors. It is because of where this corruption stems from. There is where the ED will go. And you see the website of the ED, Enforcement Directorate website, if you look at it, there are around 800 and odd cases. And it's not just in Kerala or it's not just in opposition parties like West Bengal. It's there across the country. The properties have been frozen even in Uttarakhand and Gujarat and so and so. So it's not just that the ED is hounding only opposition parties. But here, in both the cases, there are clear evidence of Hawala transactions, clear evidence of corruption. So therefore, the ED has
clear
to
evidence
act,
is what the BJP is saying.
And saying
okay. Right, Vineetah. K. Shaji, very quickly, if you could come in, I just have about a minute. If you could, really put this into perspective as well, because the BJP is saying there is Hawala transaction and there are a lot of, wrongdoings which need to be investigated. That's where the agencies really come in.
The thing is that I am first of all not against any kind of investigation. The thing is that there must be transparency, there must be fairness, and the truth must come out. But the situation, the real question is, while initiating this discussion, you said about timing of starting such an investigation. Now the election process is going on. The electoral process is already started. And Thomas Isaac is a candidate in a constituency in Kerala. And whether this is the right time to initiate such an investigation. And in the case of Kerala, in the case of Veena's allegation, the allegation against Veena, the issues came into the surface about 1 year ago. Since then, the central agencies were slow pedaling. The process was not initiated that time. Even the Kerala Assembly witnessed several discussions about it. And the pertinent question is, where were the agencies then? And what were they doing? So now it is going to
Okay, Mr. Shaji raising another question that transparency is important, and why didn't this aspect come up in the past? Why didn't the agencies really get involved when this matter came up even about a year ago? We've heard perspectives from, different people on the panel, but overall, let's of course see in the days to come, with the investigation now being taken up by the Enforcement Directorate, whether there is any sort of trouble coming the way of the Kerala Chief Minister's daughter and the Chief Minister himself, or whether these are just mere allegations at this juncture. I'm slipping into a quick break on that note, thanking all our panelists.